What's up, wrestling fans? Welcome to another episode of the Smark Out Moment Smack Talk podcast. I'm your host, as always, Tony Mango. Joining me, as always, are Robert DeFelice.
Hello.
And Callum Wiggins.
The Cowboys come to collect, Mr. Mango.
Well, too bad I'm a quick draw on this at the very, very last second, and I can win at WrestleMania.
It's like I spent the entire last year shooting you in the chest multiple times, and then you got the one shot in the head.
Yeah.
At the end.
What we're referring to isn't just some cowboy puns here. We're talking about the Fantasy League here for the WWE Fantasy League that we've got going on, which you can find at WWEFantasyLeague.com, which will take you over to Smark Out Moment because that's the whole point of this whole thing. Callum had orchestrated a return of the Fantasy League last year, and the three of us and Uego had participated. We went through from, I believe it was SummerSlam all the way through WrestleMania. Is that right?
Yes, it was.
And we finished that up, a couple weeks ago with WrestleMania, obviously. Yours truly was the winner at the 11th hour, if you could even call it that. It might be like the 11:59 mark, essentially.
Yeah, just for anyone that wasn't keeping track, I was ahead of the entire campaign. There was not 1 second that I was not in front of everyone else in this entire thing
from week one
until night 2 of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And actually, technically, it was up until not the last match, but I think it was either the penultimate or the match just before that. That was when Tony took over.
Well, it was the points that I got from Roman in the finale of it. So it would have been the final match, because if he would have lost, I would have lost.
Yeah. Yeah, so it did come down to the absolute final match of the entire.
That's so Tony. Just like, all right, you can have the whole thing, but I'm gonna come back and win it.
That's how I got a whole lot of things done in high school. Everything was like, projects due next period. I think I'll do it now. Kind of. So obviously, I'm not expecting the same kind of thing to happen again. I'm expecting to win every week.
Now I have a question. Is this really a fantasy league? Because I usually win in my fantasies, and I got creamed last year.
It was my fantasy, that's why.
To be fair, Rob didn't come last. Wago was the one that did finish bottom of the heap eventually, and that's why he's not coming back.
No, Wago hasn't been watching the product, so he just, one of those kind of things. But
lucky him.
Yeah, that's true. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do another draft. We're going to set up another season, a full season, Mania to Mania, unless that's not your plan. I assume it was, right?
Well, technically it's now WrestleMania Backlash to WrestleMania. So.
True, yeah, but it's got WrestleMania in the name. So what we're going to do is we're going to do our draft. Callum is going to fill us in on some changes to the Fantasy League that he's made, and we're going to pick through our names and kind of, roll along and do that. So before we get started, I want to remind everybody of some of the usual things we got going on here. I want to know what you have to say about these things, what you would pick, who you think the best team is, and all the other kind of things that you can chime in on. And the best way to do that is to drop a comment below on YouTube. And while you're over there, hit the like button, because that helps out with the SEO and the YouTube algorithm that is completely impossible to understand. And we don't have the information for it anyway. So even if they would give us the complex stuff, we wouldn't understand it. But that does help out, as does sharing and subscribing if you haven't done that already. And if you click that little email notification thing, I think that pretty much helps out with the algorithm as well, too. We also have the little tip jar, the applause button. We got the join button, and that is the same thing as the Patreon. So if you go to patreon.com/smarkoutmoment, then that is the best way for you to help us out, to help us grow, help us get to a different level where we can do some different things here, not only just for the Fantasy League, but the other podcasts, the website itself, and so on and so forth. So consider donating $1 a month or whatever you got. There's the Pick Your Poison tier, where you can make sure that we do anything in particular that you would like to see us do. You are whatever you do that you can help us out with and, keep us going and everything is greatly, greatly appreciated. And the same thing goes for the merchandise shops on TeePublic and Redbubble. And the same thing goes for helping out on Smark Out Moment's sister website, or brother website, or cousin. I don't know how they're related, but they're related in some fashion. Fanboysanonymous.com, the blue brand that deals with the geek culture topics. So if you want to check out our Mortal Kombat fan tracks, or you want to check out our fan tracks for Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders, which we most recently done because of Marco's Patreon donation, or you want to check out the Reviewable Kill series of the James Bond franchise, that has been just super duper fun to do.
Let me just say that Scooby-Doo one was also super duper fun. Because we just goof off the entire time.
All that stuff is super great. So if you love hearing our voices and you want more, go to fanboysanonymous.com and check that out. Subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. And yeah, let's get into this kind of thing. We're going to bounce around a little bit here and there. I'm going to give you another plug later on that's very, very interesting. So yeah, we'll come back to that. But Callum, fill us in on some of the tweaks that you've made.
Okay, so in terms of the Fantasy League for this year, I wanted to try and make things a bit more competitive and a bit more strategic. That was kind of my overarching goals for this season. So in terms of the points system that I established will remain the same. So still get points for wins, still get minus points for losses. The difference is going to be in both the drafting, the management of the teams, and trading. So this is how it's going to work. Instead of drafting 8 people like we did last year, we'll be drafting 12 people. However, we will not be using all 12 people at the same time. Much like wrestling Pokemon trainers, we will be selecting every week a team of 6 to represent us. So you have 12 people available, but you can only choose 6 per week. Another caveat.
Snorlax.
Another caveat is that you can only use a wrestler 2 consecutive weeks before they have to be rested. So if you pick let's say for instance someone who's going to be picked pretty early, Roman Reigns, you can't have him on your team the entire season. You must trade him in and out. So you mean?
Aspect, let me just clarify there. You mean they have to be traded completely off of your team?
No.
Or they just have to not be in the team of 6?
They have to go on your bench.
You can't utilize Roman every week to
you have 6 in your active team and you have 6 on your bench.
So you have to bench them every 2 weeks.
After 2 weeks, someone has to be forced to move on to your bench.
Okay.
You replace them with someone else. You can trade them after a week and put them back in, anything like that as well. So you can manage your teams as it were throughout the entire thing, because the most interesting aspect, or at least for the most part, except in very random intervals, there will be no weekly trading. Once you select these 12, these are your 12. The only time that there will be trading is after pay-per-views. That is where the pay-per-view predictions come into this. If you win the pay-per-view prediction contest, you can make a maximum of 3 trades to your team for the next month. If you finish second, you can make 2 trades. If you finish last, you can only make 1. Across your entire 12 people. If you win 2 consecutive pay-per-view predictions, you can force somebody to be removed from one of your opponent's teams and locked out for the rest of the pay-per-view schedule. So essentially, you could take one of their top hitters and say, okay, that person is locked out, and that person cannot be selected by anybody until the next pay-per-view.
Oof.
Then
nobody won that except for me.
But then there is the free pay-per-view wins in a row stipulation, which is that you can steal one of your opponent's team members. So if you win 3 consecutive pay-per-view predictions, you can steal whatever team member you want. Except for there is one important... No, again, it may be making it more complicated, but I want to add another bit of jeopardy into this. Team captains. So at the start of basically your first draft pick here will be your team captain. Your team captain does have to be substituted in and out of as per usual, but the team captain is different in that the team captain is your protected player.
So that one can't be stolen.
He cannot be stolen. He cannot be removed from your team. He or she, obviously, depending on who you want to assign that to. That person cannot be stolen at any point in this entire season. And yeah, that's pretty much the new additions to it. So it means that because there's only 3 of us, it means we've drafted from a bigger selection of the roster. So 36 names in total will be drafted. And yeah, it's just a case of we're not going to be keeping track of weekly trading because honestly, as someone who's managing it, it's not the most fun thing in the world to do, to keep having to just message people and say, oh, you're going to trade this and that. This means that we're only making trades after the pay-per-views. And you have, like, obviously just a maximum of 3 names to choose from. So if someone's you can tell someone's being pushed at that point in time. You can make the move on that as well. I will say that the free trades will happen essentially consecutively. So the person who wins the pay-per-view prediction contest can make free trades without having to like bounce around to the other people. So they just make free trades if they want to. They can make 2 trades. They can make 1 trade. They can keep their team exactly the same if they want to, but they get first priority. Then the second person can make their maximum of 2 trades, and the third person can then make their 1 trade.
So I got 2 questions.
Mm-hmm.
If you eventually trade out your team captain, who becomes the new team captain? The person they traded with, or do you get to select a new one?
I think that you'll be allowed to select a new team captain from your selected people. I didn't really think about this scenario if someone would want to get rid of the team captain, but then again, there might be instances where it's kind of like enforced on you through either injuries or them just getting into a bad situation. In which case, if you want to trade your team captain off, you can replace them with whatever team captain you choose. But they cannot be the thing about the team captain is they cannot be stolen or removed from your team outside of you deciding to do that yourself.
And question number 2. How quickly are you going to get annoyed with me when I go, wait, who did I keep and whatever? Because I'm not going to be able to keep track of who I had for 2 weeks and everything.
Well, I think that it will be. I think like I'll be able to keep better track of it. I think that I'll create the spreadsheet. Everyone will have access to the spreadsheet. I'll lock out people that need to be locked out and stuff like that. So I think that this trading mechanic, or at least like, it's more like rather than just having teams and then just trading people in and out willy-nilly, I think this roster management system will make it a bit more interesting and make you have to think about, oh my god, okay, so which one do I think is going to do well this week? Is this person going to do badly? It also means that you can, if you assume that one of your people is going to, I don't know, drop a championship or is going to lose a big match, you can decide, yep, I'm going to just keep them benched for this week, and that means that you won't suffer the penalty in the same way that you otherwise would do.
I like it.
Yeah, it's new, it's fresh. It needs to freshen it up a little bit. It's super exciting.
I have to ask, do you do things like this outside of what we do here? Because you're very good at this.
No, I plan things out. Like I was desperate to try and freshen this up a little bit, just because, not that I thought the old system was bad by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm not someone that likes to sit still on things. If I can make it a little bit more, not necessarily better, but different and interesting, and I thought this was the best way of going about it. I think there was a suggestion, I think it was actually from Peter at one point, about doing something which was more kind of Pokemon related, and that kind of got my gears turning for this idea. I don't think it was exactly what he suggested, but I think that this is kind of a close approximation to it.
Well, good on you, because yeah, this seems well thought out, and I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, well, you'll be looking doubly forward to it, Rob, because the order of who goes first in this draft was decided by the WrestleMania predictions. Funnily enough, the guy who is not involved in this, Wago, won the WrestleMania predictions. And that's more of a sign of what WWE did on those 2 nights was utterly ridiculous in terms of logical booking.
Yeah, so the guy who wasn't watching. What?
So out of us 3, second place was Mr. D. Felice.
Oh, wow.
Victorious due to the fact that he was the only person to pick Sheamus to win the United States Championship match.
Wow, thank you, Sheamus.
I hate Sheamus again. It's like, no.
I appreciate that victory. I'm doubly excited now.
And then it came down to myself and Tony, and we both scored equally on the predictions, but Tony gets the added bonus and finishes second place due to the fact that he got the closest time to the main event match on night 2.
Oh.
It was a lot shorter than I expected it to be.
Rob Tony Callum, right? Yeah.
Yep. So Tony will get to be the. I think this is one of the rare times that Tony is the middle child out of all of these drafts that we've done. And Rob very rarely goes first. So
very rarely.
You tend to get the middle one more often than not.
I'm typically the middle one. Or no, Rob is actually the middle one. I'm actually quite often last. Tony's usually first, which kind of makes me feel like he rigs these things a lot. But that's.
I wish I could figure out a way to do that. That'd be so much better.
Well, it's easy enough to rig it. You just say, "Oh, look, the randomizer that I didn't actually do told me that I went first."
Yeah, we wouldn't know.
No, we always do the screen share.
Oh,
yeah, you don't screen share the randomizer.
Yeah.
Oh,
you guys never watch it?
I don't think we've ever seen it.
Tony, I don't like listening to my own voice.
Yeah. I run a fair and honest rig. No, just kidding.
So, with that explanation out of the way about how essentially the whole thing that's revolving around the changes here is just to do with drafting and trading and all that stuff, I think we're in a good position to start.
All right, now we are doing Snake again, so it's
You'll go Rob, Tony, me twice, then Tony, and then Rob.
And then okay, cool. So I'm gonna kick things off.
And remember, your first pick is your team captain.
Oh, I know, and that's exactly why my first pick is Roman Reigns. It's Roman Reigns.
That is not surprising.
Yeah, I was hoping you wouldn't pick him though. I was hoping you'd be like, you know what, I'm gonna go off the rails here and go with like Aaliyah.
No, I want to win, guys.
Boo. Well, I know the one person who was bugging the crap out of me the last time around, and the one who's going to be my team captain is Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, I knew I was going to lose here.
Yeah,
if I wasn't going to get one of the first two picks, then that was going to be an issue. Okay, I will lead off with my team captain, Karrion Kross.
Ooh.
Do we really just
start
this off by picking the champion?
Didn't think that you'd go with Kross there.
He's only recently become champion. I feel like he's going to be protected in NXT for a while.
Yeah.
That was my.
He was up there on my list.
And my second pick, Bianca Bella.
She was my next pick.
I knew she was going. It was really a tough one between whether I was going to go Bianca or Karrion Kross, but I think realistically, Bianca's only wrestled once since WrestleMania, hasn't she? I know Karrion doesn't wrestle that much either, but I feel like he'll feature a bit more.
Well, I'll go with somebody who annoyed the crap out of me the last time around in a different way, but she was still a part of my team, Rhea Ripley.
And I will start my round of picks with Charlotte Flair, and I'm surprised I'm getting both Roman and Charlotte.
I was debating between Charlotte and Rhea.
And for my third pick, Walter.
It's an interesting one.
Listen, he's had the title for close to 800 days. I mean, he's got to lose eventually, but he'll hold me for a long time.
Okay, I'm going to give you this opportunity here because it's the same rules as last time, which means that the only television shows that are going to be counted is Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. I do not count NXT UK results.
Okay, well then in that case,
I should have probably explained that earlier, but I felt that was the rules from last time.
Well, okay, well then in that case, I won't be picking Walter. Sorry, Walter.
He was he beat Ciampa.
I mean, if you want me to, I'll try and follow NXT UK results. I mean, it's just literally following a page, but I won't. It's the thing about having to keep track of people that appear in backstage segments and stuff like that. So
no, I understand. So I won't go with Walter there. I will instead play it safe and go with a guy who was consistent for me last time, Paul Heyman.
Realistically, even if we did the whole NXT UK thing, I don't think really anybody would pick anybody but Walter.
Yeah.
So it would be only really worth it to check to see if Walter did anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna. I think we've set it in stone now that no NXT UK's results are gonna be counted. So you can still pick Water. You can still pick anyone from NXT UK. It just means that none of their stuff on NXT UK is gonna count.
Nope. I will play it safe and stick with the old Uncle Paul Heyman.
I'll play it safe and go with Raquel Gonzalez.
It's a good one.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, 2 picks for me. I'm gonna start
2
off
picks for me,
with
2 picks for you. I don't know why that popped in my mind with that. I'll have some picks, you'll have some too. 10 points if you get the reference. Drop it in the comments below.
Alright, I'm gonna start off with Randy Orton.
Ah, damn it. He was my next one.
Really? I thought I would be safe with Randy. Okay.
And then I'm going to pick. Just trying to think about who's being.
Pickleia.
I'm going to go with
Kurt Stallion.
Alexa Bliss.
That's a good pick.
She was not my next pick, but she was up there because she's
She doesn't
popping
wrestle
up
a lot, but
every
she
week.
Yeah, she does pop up quite a lot, and eventually she's going to become like female themed. So
Yeah. Let's go with Drew McIntyre. I got his book. I gotta pick that guy.
yeah.
I am going to take Omos.
He was up there on mine.
He ain't losing for a while.
Right.
Boy.
Even if like they lose a match, it's gonna be Styles probably taking that pin. So
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna say Candice LeRae.
Fuck.
Interesting.
I had her pretty high.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Kushida.
It's a good pick.
Okay, I'm going with Nia Jax.
Damn. I had
Strong
her up
pick.
high. Yeah. She ended up getting some good points for me last time.
She's uber protected. And I'm also going to go. This is a risk. Bronson Reed.
I actually had him pretty high up too.
Do you have my team? I think you're taking my normal picks.
This isn't gonna last forever, but I'll go with it. I'll go with Sheamus.
I never thought I'd be saying this, but give me Tamina. They're doing a lot with Tamina. I don't know when it's going to end, but right now it's going strong, and I'll play the short game on this one.
Tamina. She still have that theme?
I have no clue. I think they usually come out to Natty's theme.
She's got a killer instinct.
And on top of that, let's see. Give me Big E. I think he's still kind of being protected.
Still pretty big.
Yeah.
That's the halfway point, right?
Yep, we're just past the halfway point.
Just past the halfway point. I'm gonna go with this is do I go to or do I go to this one? I'm gonna go Wesley.
And some good short-term action here, I think. And to be fair, they might hold those tag titles for a while.
Right.
Okay. I'm gonna go Damian Priest.
He was the one that was directly next to that.
And Apollo Crews.
Okay, I'm going to go with Matt Riddle.
Just Riddle, I think you'll find.
That's your pick, Rob.
He's not used to going first.
Sorry. I had it muted. I thought you guys could hear me. I'm going to take a bit of a risk here and say Sasha, because she's going to be back eventually. And Dominic Mysterio.
They might win those tag titles this weekend.
They might.
All right, so I'm going to go with Shayna Baszler.
It's risky, but always a good pick.
Okay. I'm going with Adam Cole.
Baby.
God, do you have my team?
And I'm also going to pick
Kyle O'Reilly.
I'm tempted. I'm gonna go. Again, this might be a little left field. Jimmy Uso.
I like it.
I'm going to bank on somebody who is not going to be losing in a while here. I'm going to go Saray.
Strong pick. I am going to, again, weird pick for me, but gonna bank on Jinder.
Modern day Maharaja.
He's not hindered, you know? And on top of that, I'm gonna... Where do we stand? Because I legitimately don't know if this is even a thing anymore. Has the 24/7 title been defended on programming?
Not for a long, long time.
Wow.
I don't think since he wasn't even on WrestleMania, was he?
No, he was not. All right, then I'm gonna skip over that and play it safe. And I'm not kidding. This is not my pick, but why is vacant legitimately listed on their superstars page?
It is?
Yeah.
I gotta see this now.
It's right next to me, between Undertaker and Vanessa Bourne. I'm gonna go Xia Li.
It was between her and Saray that I was going with. I gotta find this vacant thing. I gotta see this. Let's see where we're at. Wow, yeah, vacant.
Click on it. It takes you to the Universal Championship page.
What? That's weird. Hell of a graphic for vacant, though. Who was it that you had just drafted?
I picked Xia Li.
Xia Li. Okay, let me put that on my list. Well, I'm not planning on going with the guy that shoves roses up people's asses. I'm not.
Or the guy having his ass shoved up with roses.
I mean, at least him, he can could take the bloom, the whole thing. I'm gonna go the phenomenal one, AJ Styles.
Respect.
I'm gonna take Cesaro.
Yeah, I'm not certain if they're gonna stick with him, so I was hesitant to pick him.
No, I'm not certain either, but I want to live with some sort of faith.
He was on my secondary list of depending on who does what. I had a list of 36. So,
and there's still tons of people to choose from, but I'm gonna go. Just thinking for a second before because this is my last pick, so got to try and make it count. Oh, hang on. What's I'm trying to remember.
Well, since this is your last pick,
yeah,
to tell us who you're debating between, because obviously if you don't pick whoever,
I have my choice. Legitimately, I can't remember what her name is.
Who is she?
It's Mei Ying. I'll tell you that.
No, it's not. It's
Frankie Monet.
It's Frankie Monet. That's it. Name. She's Ty Valkyrie, for fuck's sake.
If you nobody was gonna say anything if you just said Ty Valkyrie.
I know, but
no, I would have been a dick about it. It would have been like, nope, only if Tyler Valkyrie wins.
I guess what? She's not listed on the Superstar page. That's why I couldn't find.
You know what page she is listed on though? The one on smarkoutmoment.com, because that one's up to date and doesn't have vacant lead to the Universal Championship.
So weird.
You still got Chelsea Green on the NXT one.
Yeah, this ain't updated at all, man.
Okay, so my last pick. How many points do you get for appearances?
It's just two on regular shows, 3 on pay-per-views.
How much is it for a victory on a match?
10.
Okay, so that's a big difference then.
10 on regular shows, 15 on pay-per-views.
All right, I'm not going to go with MVP then.
We're going to pick Eva Marie for a second.
Yeah, Eva Marie's literally right next to MVP on my list. But I'm not thinking she's going to wrestle much, so I'm worried about that. I don't know if this is a risk or not, but I'm gonna go with it at least for now, and go with Isaiah Swerve Scott.
Oh man, that was one of my final two.
It's a good choice.
Because he might not be taking the pinfalls. He might just be doing appearances. It might be Ashanti. It might be AJ Francis. You know.
Question: If I pick AJ Francis, do I get bonus points for Most Wanted Treasures?
I don't know if that's in the regular circulation.
Golly. Well, all right. I'm gonna, for one of my final two picks, I'm going.
Your final pick?
Oh, I only had the one more.
Yeah, that's your last 12th one.
Darn. You know what? I feel secure enough in my picks that it doesn't matter. I'm going Adam Pearce.
Interesting. Out of two, I would have thought Sonya might have been the bigger.
I think Adam will be around longer. Sonya was the one that I was going to say, but then I thought maybe it'll end quickly.
Okay, so that's our 12 players sorted. So now it just comes down to a choice of which 6 do you want to represent you, because the first show is obviously going to be WrestleMania Backlash, so we need 6 names here. So again, we'll just go. It doesn't need to be like snaking around this time, because obviously we've made our picks already. But Rob, your team captain is obviously Roman Reigns. Yes. Is he going to be in your starting lineup?
Yes.
Tony, Bobby Lashley, is he in your starting lineup?
If you give me a second, I want to try to figure out who I've got with that. Yeah.
Okay. And Karrion Kross will also be in my starting lineup. Even though obviously he's not on WrestleMania Backlash, I still think that he'll do something. Rob, your second pick.
Dominic Mysterio.
Tony, pick number 2.
And they're not in any kind of particular weighted order or anything, right?
They're just going to be the 6 people that you got in your thing.
All right. Sheamus.
Okay. I will take Bianca Belair as my second. Rob.
Okay, Charlotte Flair.
Tony.
Rhea Ripley.
Confidence there. 2 people that are directly going to be in the same match. So that's
Charlotte wins soundly so fast in so many different ways.
Damian Priest will be my third.
I like that.
Let's go, Miz.
Paul Heyman.
Well, funny enough, he didn't get picked. So Paul Heyman.
I know, but I just want him to beat Damian Priest now.
4 for you, Tony.
So this starts at Backlash, right?
Yeah.
Not tonight.
No, so obviously, I assume that you were checking that for the Raquel Gonzalez thing.
And Kushida.
Oh, yeah, sure.
No. All right, so I'm going to go... This is just for next week, right? Like that week. Then
yeah, it would be WrestleMania Backlash and the week following that. Well, it's not just for next. Well, yeah, these are your 6 for this coming week. So it will start at WrestleMania Backlash. It will end on next week's SmackDown.
Yeah. All right. So then I'm gonna go Shayna Baszler.
It will follow that with Nia Jax.
I will go with Jinder and hope that they keep him on Raw.
And I'll go Matt Riddle.
Okay. I guess I'll follow that up. All right, I'm taking a risk. I'm putting Cesaro in the faintest of fate hope that they do something crazy at WrestleMania Backlash.
And they will, just to spite me, I'm sure. Jerks. Give me Tamina.
Tamina, and that's pick number 6.
And I'll go with Wesley.
Okay. And for my final choice, I will go with Bronson Reed.
Barring some total bullshit and shenanigans, I should clean up week 1.
Well, if you want to make sure that you get cleaned up, then you might be interested in our new sponsor, because support for Smark Out Moment is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming champions of the world, and we want to tell you a little bit about it. First things first, the fact that this exclusive offer is brought to you by Manscaped means that if you use the code SMARK at manscaped.com, you get 20% off and free worldwide shipping. You got to use that code, though, SMARK. It's got to be at manscaped.com, obviously, because that's the whole point. But and look, you guys have been listening to me for a while. You know I'm somebody who, I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. I'm not going to just promote a product for the sake of it if I don't believe in it. But I've tested out their new Lawnmower 4.0. That is their 4th generation trimmer, so they've been doing this for a while. They know what they're doing. And you know that I love my wordplay and my puns, so when they send me a thing that says Manscaped offers precision engineered tools for your family jewels, it gets a little bit of a bonus for me on that end, just because it rhymes and everything. But what we've got going on here is that I've tried out the 4.0 and I can attest to it, give it a thumbs up that it actually does work, and it does work really well. And if you're not willing to just take my word for it or whatever, I'm not the only one who's tried out some of the products. Callum, for instance, has the Lawnmower 3.0.
Yep, and it is very, very handy. It's not exactly, and it's obviously it's a sensitive area of the body, but yeah. I can say that with complete confidence that it was completely pain-free, totally worked like a charm, worked like a treat.
And it is completely pain-free. It is completely set up for this specific job. I've been using Manscaped for a while now. I have the Lawnmower 3.0 myself. They deliver exactly what they say, and we love that here. So thumbs up all around for Manscaped.
I do appreciate their attention to detail with the packaging, and everything was laid out. You got the the special solutions with the aftershave, but the deodorant and stuff like that as well.
The ball deodorant.
Ball deodorant.
I love it.
you don't want you want your balls to smell nice, don't you? Want every
Yeah.
other part of your body to smell nice. That shouldn't be a place that's neglected.
So here's the deal. We don't need Tony's thumbs up. We need Caroline to give a thumbs up on Tony's behalf. Because that's what we need. And she's going to want you to smell nice. So yes, Tony, ball deodorant.
She is very much on the smell side of things. That's like one of her like, oh my God, do you smell these flowers? Oh my God, do you smell this? Whatever. So the ball deodorant is on the list of something. And even the name, the ball deodorant and all that. You know, how many products do you see out there that end up just being like, male sensitive area grooming kit, whatever? Nah, they're like, you know what? It's for your balls. Put it on your balls. Straightforward, to the point. But thankfully not a point that's going to hurt you down there. That's in part due to their advanced skin safe technology. So, you know, you don't have to worry about that. So go ahead and use that promo code SMARK. Pick up something on manscaped.com. Get your 20% off. Get your free shipping. Your balls will thank you, and so will I. So thank you to Manscaped for sponsoring this. We're looking forward to all the variations that we can joke around when we're leading into our plugs when it comes to this over the course of the while.
I just like that because, like, hey, you got thanked by your balls and also by a massive dick.
That is very true. So again, thank you, Manscaped. Thank you to everybody who picks up something using the code SMARK. So we've got our teams. We've got our teams of 6. What else we got going on here?
I mean, that's basically it at this point. So obviously the first show, which will be WrestleMania Backlash, will set the plans in motion. These first 6 will be representing us for the first week of programming, and then I'll essentially be going through the mind-numbing process of hitting everyone up like week in, week out, letting them know, okay, this person's expired, so you have to switch them out, and this, do you want to switch any of these people out, put someone else in instead, just until the next pay-per-view, which will be Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank will be the first official part of the predictions contest, because obviously WrestleMania Backlash, this is when it's starting, so that's not going to count towards the prediction contest. So Money in the Bank will do. That will be where trades might come into the equation as well. But for now, these are the 12 people that we're riding with for at least until middle to late June.
Are we switching any kind of team names up? I'm keeping the Mangoes Don't Kneel. I still like that.
I mean, I might switch up. I'll let people know what I end up switching to. I haven't really thought about it in advance. The Bastion Boogie Nights they did good for me right until the very end, so I might need to have some sort of a facelift with that regard.
And I definitely don't want to stick with my team name because it just ended up being an ode to how much I was sucking, and I'm not gonna suck this time around. It's gonna be great. So probably after WrestleMania Backlash, I'll let you guys know what I've decided for the team name. And we'll go from there. But definitely, I will not be robbed of points. I will be winning. Okay?
It's going to be robbed from first place.
Listen, if we're sitting here on Sunday talking about new champion Cesaro, then it's just over right out of the gate.
It'll be the Mysterios lose. Charlotte is the one that takes the pin. Roman drops off from Cesaro. Jinder Mahal gets injured.
Yeah, like we'll
Paul Heyman's fired.
Yeah, Roman Reigns fires Paul Heyman on the air, so you lose like 50 points or something like that. Then it would have to be robbed of points again.
Then I would be robbed of points again. So there you go.
But yeah, that's basically that's the fantasy league sorted for now, and yeah, we'll keep you posted about any updates that happen, any major updates. The fact that we'll only be switching things up on the pay-per-views means that we can keep things a bit more concise with the updates. You'll just know what teams are doing what. You'll see who's ahead, who's behind. Obviously, check out WWE Fantasy League.com. Head over to Smark Out Moment as well, and you'll be able to keep track of, see all the rules and keep track of all the teams as and when they're updated.
Just a reminder for anybody who is losing track of our teams right now. Rob's team is Roman Reigns, Charlotte Flair, Paul Heyman, Omos, Candice LeRae, Tamina, Big E, Sasha Banks, Dominic, Mysterio, Jinder Mahal, Xia Li, and Adam Pearce. Callum's team is Karrion Kross, Bianca Belair, Randy Orton, Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax, Bronson Reed, Damian Priest, Apollo Crews, Adam Cole, Jimmy Uso, Cesaro, and Frankie Monet. And my team is Bobby Lashley, Rhea Ripley, Raquel Gonzalez, Drew McIntyre, Kushida, Sheamus, Wesley, no Nash Carter in the mix, Matt Riddle, Shayna Baszler, Saray, AJ Styles, and Isaiah Swerve Scott, who's running a stable that we don't know the name of yet. So I don't know if that's going to change my opinion about that. But we got a wide variety of picks from Raw and SmackDown and NXT. Almost had an NXT UK guy in there.
Yep, until I said no.
Yeah.
Yeah, well...
Well, you gave him the option. I mean, if he wanted to,
Yeah.
he could have kept on Walter.
I would still argue Walter is hopefully a safe pick. I'd like to see him switch over to the States, but I don't want to lose any points just because I happen to watch NXT every week. And nobody else does.
Imagine us doing a draft of just NXT UK and 205 Live and main event.
Well, I was almost considering throwing AEW into the mix on this one, but I decided, considering the fact that we've got the rights to WWE Fantasy League, we might as well try and stick as firmly to the brief as we can there.
That's right. If you want to go straight to the point, go to WWEFantasyLeague.com because it'll take you right to where you need to go.
Right to the Fantasy League label of SmarkOutMoment.com. So you'll see like the post that is going to have this video, and you're going to see the post that has all the rules and all the breakdowns and all that stuff.
That'll be up by the weekend, I think.
Yeah, we'll get that sorted out. It's just a lot of the same ones that it was the last time. So if you want to check on the other one in the meantime, then obviously the difference is the things that Callum was talking about.
Yeah, it's just the drafting rules. All the point scoring thing is exactly the same as last year. So if you want to know all that stuff in advance, then head over there and you'll be able to find all that stuff out. But and I think the interesting thing is that there's a lot of big names in free agency that can still be picked up. So no one picked Johnny Gargano or Kyle O'Reilly or Finn Balor or Tommaso Ciampa from NXT side of things. There's no one's picked people like Bayley or Kevin Owens or people of that ilk. So
Mansoor was very high up on my list.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that could be switched up when we come around to like every pay-per-view month, especially the way that WWE gets hot on someone and immediately discards them after a month or so. So I think these won't be the teams that we end up with. I'll say that with confidence.
Oh yeah, because Bray Wyatt's still out there. Jeff Hardy didn't get drafted. Lots of big names in free agency. Edge is still out there for whenever he comes back.
Who knows what's happening with Dan O'Brien?
Exactly.
That's right.
Eventually he might come back, and then that might be a big thing.
Imagine if you drafted him in this one and you came back and you just went to AEW and you just sat with a guy that was in AEW.
And you keep going with the no, it's all work. He's coming back. So yeah, that's the 2021 to 2022 Fantasy League first initial draft of our teams. Drop a comment below. Tell us who you think is going to end up winning this time around. What you are feeling as far as the teams go. Who you think we should have picked for our team of 6. Whether or not certain people are certain Pokemon types, if they're in the mix. Do I have a team of Steel types? I don't know. And anything else that you want to drop a comment in below, go ahead and do that. Pay attention to everything else we've got coming your way, because the next thing after this that you're going to hear is the predictions breakdown for WrestleMania Backlash. And of course, at the end of the week, after we do the hot tags, then we're going to have the WrestleMania Backlash pay-per-view point post show. We're going to review the pay-per-view and talk about all the things that go along with that. Next week, we have a blank week, at least for right now. You know, things may change, but currently that's up in the air. So if you have any suggestions, start pondering about that and tossing it our way to see if there's something in particular you'd really like us to do. And then after that, we got a double or nothing round of the pay-per-view point stuff. Then we got a Missed the Smark for No Holds Barred, which we're thinking about potentially doing a twofer for. It may be a fan ounce table and Missed the Smark. And if that's the case, we might do the fan ounce table as part of the Patreon. So if you are interested in that, let us know. The whole Money in the Bank stuff that's coming up might also be a little bit after another pay-per-view, because right now the current rumor, which may or may not just be confirmed tonight, is that NXT TakeOver. Are they already confirmed it flat out with WWE?
Yeah.
When did they do that?
Earlier today. Todd Pettengill is going to be hosting.
Nice. That's what I was hoping for. Yeah, NXT TakeOver in your house is coming on June 13th, and we also have the times for SummerSlam seems to be the 22nd. So some pay-per-view stuff coming forward with that, and I kind of want to do an in your house thing, because last time around we did that, but I mean, it's with Peacock and everything, we don't know exactly what we're going to be doing. So maybe somewhere in the mix here, we do something about in your house. I don't know. If you have any suggestions, drop them in the comments below.
I'll make a suggestion.
What would that be?
Canadian Stampede.
I was either going to suggest that or Final Four, just because that main event is great. But Canadian Stampede may be the best in your house. So.
And it ties in with the recent like Brian Pillman Dark Side of the Ring and stuff like that. So.
Oh yes.
Was that good? I didn't check.
Yeah. It was very good. It was very good.
Yeah, I haven't watched it the whole way through yet, but I've heard nothing but good things.
There you go. It's got some stamps of approval on that one. And yeah, all that stuff is coming your way blank week next week. So keep that in mind. And stay tuned. And while you're doing that, make sure that you follow everything else that's happening on smarkoutmoment.com. Make sure you follow what I got on my kind of other sides of things. Make sure you pay attention to something that might be coming up pretty soon that I don't want to really 100% say yet. So just, keep your eyes open, keep your ears open as well. And follow me at Tony Mango. Follow these guys and what they're doing on their socials and everything that they've got going on as well.
Should I start? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll start off with saying follow me on Twitter at weekmeister14. Check out all the weekly articles on smarkoutmoment.com, but especially the power rankings, because that's my weekly contribution. Obviously, you know this already by now if you've been listening long enough, but there's 2001 Wrestling Odyssey and the Paul Heyman SmackDown podcast in the YouTube archives or on the podcast feed archives. Check them out if you want to just sit back, listen to hours and hours of conversation from the 2001 all the way through to like early 2003 and the wrestling landscape between me and Rob. And yeah, there might be some more interesting stuff in the pipeline with that in the future, but again, don't want to spoil too much in advance, especially when it's still very much in the early stages of formation. But something will be coming, just don't know when yet. But that's it from me.
Yes, and you can follow me on Twitter and everywhere else at DudeFelice. Check out Fightful.com. Fightful select breaking news about Humberto Carrillo and what happened to him during Raw, breaking news about potential locations for SummerSlam. Just constantly breaking news over there. Sean Ross Sapp works his ass off, so please check that out. And I appreciate all your support, whether it's here, or Fanboys, WrestleZone, or Fightful. And I will see you on the next one.
And we hope that you guys are having a good day. We hope you're staying safe. We hope that you had fun listening to this, and we hope you stay tuned. So we will see you when we see you. But for now, this has been another Smark Out moment, and we're being counted out.